And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to Claret and Big Blue, probably the only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham United and the New York Giants. That's right, football and football balls for everyone's taste. Now, here at Claret and Big Blue, we play to win. So this week, I have benched Alex Middleton, and we are bringing on Nate Sudfeld to co-host this show. But no, I'm just
fucking Nate Sudfeld.
Nate was not available, so Alex, you're back in. You're back in, Alex.
Okay.
How you doing?
It's not right, or whatever Jalen said.
I think that is exactly what he said.
Yeah.
It's not right.
It's not right. Playing to win.
Whew, that was a thing that happened. But before we dive into that, Happy New Year, everyone! It's 2021. It's now 2 years of Claret and Big Blue officially. So,
2 official years, yep.
2 official years. How was your New Year's, Alex?
It was pretty cool. Went to Chili's with the boys. Got a little fucked up on some Presidente margaritas and the old triple dipper, the best meal ever. A triple dipper from Chili's.
So did you go to Chili's on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
New Year's Eve.
Was you there when the clock struck?
Oh no. Oh, we had a little too many Presidentes, if you know what I'm talking about, and we safely got home and then proceeded to drink a little more.
So where was you when?
In fact, I was at my brother's house because it was his birthday, and he got a little too drunk and passed out before midnight. So then I got a ride home, and I got to hang out with Emma at my house, my girlfriend at my house at midnight.
Oh, did you do the traditional clink clink little kiss?
No.
No. That's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to.
I guess you're supposed to. We didn't. I was a little, I had a couple dentes.
He was a little under the influence.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Do you like that I started it? I just realized I did that. I started at Presidente margaritas, then I got to Presidentes, and at the end it was just dentes.
That's how you're close.
Yeah, but my brother did the thing where the waiter came and he was like, "So what can I get you guys to drink tonight?" And a couple of guys at the table were like, "Oh, I want a beer or whatever." And my brother's like, "Oh yeah, I think I can speak for him and myself. We're gonna go a couple dentes, Presidentes." And the guy was like, "Okay," and he's like, "And just keep them coming." And I was like, "You just dropped a keep them coming at Chili's."
Did he at least pass him like a $100 bill? Just keep him coming.
No, that would have been even funny. He tucks it into his shirt.
Keep him coming and buy yourself something nice.
You see, make sure this glass is full. I don't know why he became like a train robber right there, but it was his birthday, so I was like, "Yo, bro, we're gonna fuck up some Chili's. That's kind of a tradition we do.
Keep it coming, see?
Yeah, you see, you know what I'm talking about, boys." Get the girl. We'll put her on the tracks.
I like my Presidentes like I like my women.
Honey, a Presidente over here, Give me that filly over here. She'll bring me a Presidente. I'll show her a Presidente in my Oval Office. I don't know. I'm getting carried away. I think this bit's over. This bit's dead. Into the ground.
If anything, you'd be voted into her Oval Office or something like that. I don't know.
Her Oval Office. I was trying to make a Monica Lewinsky joke, and I was doing it on my feet. It didn't work.
Good job you're sitting down.
So they're not all going to be winners. It's fucking, then you just beat me to it.
All right. The moral of the story is Chili's on New Year's Eve is fun.
Yeah, dude.
Is that tradition? Do you do that every year?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like my brother and I always had a thing about how Chili's it gets a lot of shit for being a trashy place, but it's like, bro, Chili's fucks. My girlfriend just heard me and laughed.
That's gotta be the first time anyone has ever said that.
Dude, Chili's fucks. Make that a clip. Clip that one.
And cut.
And then say at Chili's. Slide in those DMs. Right?
Next week, Claret and Big Blue is proudly brought to you by Chili's.
Get the triple dip, the trip dip.
Because chili fucks Check the website for locations.
Chili's, we fuck.
Not just for New Year's.
Guys, we got a great marketing idea. Like, I don't really think we want to go live with that. We're probably gonna, you know what, guys, we're gonna table that. Appreciate your enthusiasm, and we'll reach out to you.
He's got a British accent. It sounds classy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's why we need you to do all of it. Just push him through. Push him through.
Although the way I say it, the English accent, well, Chili's, where we make love. No, cut. It's fucks. That's the line. It's fucks.
Do they have Chili's in the UK?
I believe they do. I don't think I've ever been to one though.
Well, they should. I mean, I'm honestly, that makes me proud as an American that people in other countries can share in our fine cuisine.
I know a
lot of times they're like, oh, you go to Italy, you got to have the pasta and or whatever it is. And like they have Italian food, they got French food, but there's like American food is like hot dogs. Okay, that's kind of like sausage, which isn't American or whatever. But then it's just like Chili's. Let's give them Chili's. That over there. That's pretty Americana.
That's the extended version of that saying. So, when in Rome, go to Chili's.
Right. Although I'm like always go to Chili's. I'll DoorDash Chili's.
The one thing I do know is in England we do have Outback, and the Outback fucks too.
Well, yeah, y'all are even closer to Australia, bro. You should have Outback.
I don't think we do. I think we're actually closer to America.
No, I'm saying y'all are closer to Australia than America is.
What, geographically or?
I don't know. I think just distance-wise.
No, definitely. But like original Australian.
Traveling east, yes.
Yep.
There we go. Just edit it out and make that part my take right there.
Sounds smarter that way.
Nailed it.
That was good opening. We're gonna move on now.
This is a weird week. It's like we have two positives, but like we're pissed about the other. Like both teams won.
Oh,
we get the sweep week.
I actually forgot that the Giants won with all of that.
It does feel like they didn't win.
I assumed we lost now.
No, because like we beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, we did.
So like that was awesome. The first time in like 8 games. It goes the first time like we'd lost 7 straight to them. And fucking dominated. 4 seasons almost. And defense, they came out and they played pretty good. Played pretty good. We got a little lucky that Mike McCarthy is an idiot.
Yes.
And doesn't know how to challenge. I don't think he knew that, hey, you can challenge that one. But then Xavier McKinney comes through in the clutch. Like, I don't know how much you paid attention to McKinney during the game, but like there were about 4 times that I thought he had a pick. He had one that got called back because of a penalty, but I was just like, that guy is a ball hawk today. And it was kind of like they finally gave him like starters reps for the first time since like he started or since he got to play. And like he played the majority of the game. And I think Xavier McKinney was awesome. And like that's going to be a staple of our defense going forward. And I'm really like, it made me happy as a Giants fan, even though we didn't make the playoffs. We'll get to all of that later, but like, because we thought we had a chance at that point. And like, I was like, these are our fucking guys for like the next 3 years, at least. I mean, Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams, maybe not, but like you got Peppers back there. Daniel Jones looked pretty good. Gallman's probably gone, but Gallman had his worst game as a Giant probably. And all of those guys, like the offensive line looked awesome. We were fucking pass rushing like a motherfucker. Coverage was great. Like, this is our team that's going to be good in the future. And I have not felt that way in a very long time.
Plus, it might be sad if Gorman does leave, but then Saquon Barkley sliding back in.
Saquon coming back.
I am excited. But, yeah, the game, I was a little bit worried when, like, even though we scored a touchdown pretty early on, I was a little bit worried that things weren't going to go our way when
I'm always worried.
Old Gano missed that field goal. Gano, whatever. You say Gano, I say Gano. Let's call the whole thing off. New thing we're starting here. Yes. And then I literally, because normally everything goes against the Giants. Like everything, all the bad luck goes
right. And it did in the first half. Well, it did because that fucking I don't know what not Stephon Diggs, but Diggs on their corner for the Cowboys. That dude had like 35 holds that I watched that didn't get called, and then like there were a couple times the Giants got some bullshit calls against them, but like it was nowhere near the end of the game. Like it definitely made up for it at the end of the game, and if it was just like, why are things going our way? What's wrong?
Well, because
like how bad is this gonna get?
When
like the cat game.
When Pederson made that catch, and then I think I might have been one of the commentators said something about, oh, was that a catch? I did the whole took off my hat and I threw it across the room and I was like, fuck, that's it. Like, I was like screaming, like stressing out, assuming it was going to get called back and things were fine. And then by the time I'd calmed down, we'd already scored the field goal. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That went well. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Boy, was that worth getting upset over?
Yeah, I just get upset more often.
I believe me, many times during Giants games, I am always like, hey man, maybe we don't overreact like that. But like, I don't know about you, but I hate when Troy Aikman does Cowboys games against the Giants. Because like the first Giants drive where we just blew them out of the water and like went down the field and scored right away, like you could tell Troy, he was like sad. He was like, I mean, and you know, this Cowboy, like as he's like calling the games, like, and this Cowboys defense has really created a turnover in each of the last 4 games. That's really been a factor in their offense. It's finally coming together, and I expect to see a lot of fireworks between this offense and the defense. They have and that's a pass from Jones to the 30-yard line. Gallman up the middle. Jones hands it off to Shepard. Shepard scores, and I mean, I can't believe in this defense that I was just hyping up that like, oh shit, like you could kind of tell he was sad. And then like when the Cowboys are doing well and you're mad already, you're like, fuck you, Troy, shut up, Troy. And he's like saying probably normal, regular things, but you're just like, you're so biased.
Isn't the weather nice for New York? Fuck you.
Fuck you, Troy. You know why.
You've never been a weatherman. What do you know?
That was the thing about people that got like that were trying to like make fun of the Giants about the Philly thing. It was like, well, how about you do this or how about you do that? I'm like, dude, shut up. I'm allowed to be mad because of the Eagles. Fuck the Eagles. It's like, yes, I know I'm being irrational, but also fuck the Eagles. I don't have to be rational.
But that became like the go-to thing. Like you could literally say anything, but then you just have someone respond to you. Well, yeah, they should have won more games. I wasn't even talking about that. Relax.
Right, yeah, they totally should have. I mean, if we're really going to point the season at somebody, and let's just hop into this. Let's just hop into this. If we have to point
which player
the season to somebody, it's obviously a bitch ass Evan Engram. It's that bitch ass Evan Engram. Mike, just remind me what happens if the Giants won that Week 7 game. Say Evan Engram makes that catch that he drops because he can't catch. What if he makes that catch, scores the touchdown, Giants win the game? Then I believe
we'd be 7-9, which would be, by my calculations, enough to win the division.
Yes, that is playoffs right there. And Evan Ingram's bitch ass. Fun fact: Daniel Jones threw, I believe, 11 interceptions, 10 interceptions, whatever it was. I think it was 11. He threw 11 interceptions. I saw a stat that Evan Engram had 8 dropped balls or whatever, 8 or 9 drop balls. He was the second or third leader in the league with drop passes this year. I know for a fact at least 4 of Daniel Jones's interceptions this year were off of the hands of Evan Engram in some sort of like, he doesn't just like drop a pass. He like just
drops it and
volleyball swats it into the air and he's like, hey, you get it. It's like, yeah, he like returns a serve basically in volleyball, but like he just flails up into the air and like, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Everybody else is going to catch the ball. And like 4 times this year that I remember, and it's possible it's happened more, but I think it was 4.
Well, it happened once in this game.
That's about half of Jones's interceptions that are because this bitch ass can't fucking catch. You get paid to catch a ball. Catch the ball.
Well, that was
catch the fucking ball, man.
I know you're not a watcher of the talking head shows and things like that, like Skip and Shannon or whatever it's called.
I watch, not all the time, but sometimes.
But I was watching. Is it Skip and Shannon or Shannon and Skip and Shannon? Well, which way to wait?
Skip to my Lou.
And Mr. Shannon Sharp, he did make a funny little quip where he was talking about bigging up like the Giants and bigging up Daniel Jones and things like that. Because like Daniel Jones, he only like threw one turnover this game, and that was Daniel Jones's fault because he threw it at the wrong place at Evan Engram, his hands.
I mean, it is amazing.
It's
like for a job that you get paid to do, it is like when a kicker can't make a field goal and you're like, dude, all you get paid to do is make that's all you gotta do, bro. But
the equivalent would be
that happens more. But like, dude, you get paid a lot to catch passes. Fuck you, Evan.
The equivalent would be Gano, whatever, trying to attempting a field goal and somehow kicking it backwards. That's
right.
Like,
right. Or like, no, yeah, instead
you have a simple job. How are you fucking this up so bad?
Yeah, dude. I just don't get it. And then like there's so many times you're like, okay, maybe he's coming around and he'll make like an amazing play. But then he does dumb shit like that. We're like, what the fuck, man? Like this happens too many times. You can't be this inconsistent.
So I mean, we're gonna get into the Eagles' decisions, but yeah, it all comes down to
the Giants definitely should have won more games. It's the Giants' fault that they're not in the postseason. The Giants had opportunities, especially very early in the season, but I don't think they really found their stride until they started that 4-game win streak, which was like, yeah, that's way too fucking late. They were like 0-5, whatever. I get it, but like, I think that it was like with COVID and everything, we're not making that as the only excuse, but like that definitely played into it with a new head coach and a bunch of rookies and like 87 draft picks and free agents that we brought in. Like that wasn't a long time that they got to like get ready for that. And I'm not saying like they probably wouldn't have been that good anyways in the beginning. You just got to kind of feel each other out, but like they dropped opportunities. They could have won games. They could have won the Bucks game. They could have played better in the Browns game and probably could have won that. You know, they got blown the fuck out in the Rams game, but they could have, no, that was the 49ers game. They could have beat the Rams. They lost by like 2 scores to the Rams, I think. They should have beat the Cowboys earlier in the season. Like they could have had 10 wins. I'm not like, they're not a good team this year. They were an overachieving team. I'm not trying to say the Giants would have been the Super Bowl champs or anything like that, but like, they could have, like, they had the potential. This team had the potential and they didn't live up to their potential, and they can, and I think they will eventually, but it was just like they should have won more games. They should have won more games.
Well, yeah, I wrote
but also fuck Philly, and I can be mad about Philly not winning that game.
Week 2, Bears lost by 4. Week 5, Cowboys by 3. Week 7, Eagles by 1. Week 8, Bucks by 2. So yeah, I think our record definitely is not reflective of how the Giants did this season, how Joe Judge did this season. I think a lot of positives can be taken out of this season overall. And I think we can look forward to next season, I think.
And Joe Judge, I believe it was this morning in his press conference that he did, he was talking about, it may have been yesterday, but he was talking about how he was like, I didn't set our goal. Our goal was to, you know, obviously to play for a championship, but like our number one goal this year was to establish a culture, and a mentality. And I think like you saw, like there was that midpoint in the season about where like we were in all those games, and then it was like the Bucks, like we almost beat the Bucks on that Monday night game, and then we just kind of like figured some stuff out and got some steam going, and you could tell guys were like, I'm buying into Joe Judge. And I really think like the turning point was kind of the Golden Tate thing, where Golden Tate was like, his wife said he should play more, and he was like, no, I should play more. Like, I don't know what the hell this coach is thinking or whatever he said about Judge. And Judge was like, yeah, all right, well, don't worry about coming to the stadium. We're gonna sit you this week. We're not even gonna, you can be a healthy scratch, and just, you know, come on in some street clothes, and if you want to hang out on the sideline, you can, but you're not playing. And I think that with a vet like that, you have a locker room at a turning point where they got to decide, like, am I going with the vet or am I going to side with the coach? And I think the guys, a lot of people went with the coach, and they're like, you know what? You didn't buy into what was going on. We keep shit in house. We're a team. We're a family. We do this. And then like, you saw that with things that were being said. I think even things that were said later on this week after they had the Twitter tirade. Like, they didn't really go off on Twitter, but like you could tell some of the players were upset on Twitter about the Eagles, but like, they all thought that they should have won more. And I just, I think we're in a great spot. And I think Joe Judge definitely seems like he established a culture, and like he comes from the Patriots. That's what all those coaches always talk about wanting to do. But like you very rarely see that. And this is a rarity. And I think Brian Flores kind of got a little bit of that in Miami. Guys are buying into this stuff. But I think that guys are buying into Joe Judge. And I think that's going to make people want to come play for Joe Judge. If there's a free agent that's kind of wafting between a couple of teams, I think that's going to, make rookies more inclined to like assimilate into the locker room when they want to play for Joe Judge. He seems like he's a player friendly coach. I was really questioning the decision. What do we know? What do we know? We're idiots, obviously, because I was like, why would we hire a special teams coordinator? But it's like, no, he sold him in the interview. He obviously had a reason, and look at him. Like Dave Gettleman, also shout out to him. Like I think we had 10 draft picks, and I would say rookie season, we still have like 7 of them left on the team, and they all kind of played a role in it. This was probably our best draft class since the 07 draft class where they first beat the Patriots. You had Steve Smith and Diassi and Alford and all of those, and Aaron Ross and those guys. And Kevin Boss, Aaron Ross, Kevin Boss. And I think that was Ahmad Bradshaw as well. Like that was probably the best Giants draft class that I can ever remember, but this was, looking at it, has a lot of potential to become another one of the best Giants draft class.
Well,
like the Giants are in such a good spot. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just like, I'm getting so excited just thinking about like, it's been a tough year to watch them, but it's also been like a positive year in a little bit of a way. And just like, we don't have Pat Shurmur anymore. We don't have Ben McAdoo, even though I was really bought in on Ben McAdoo. I really wanted him to be good. He seemed
I don't think
funny.
anyone else was.
I know I was definitely the only guy.
He definitely did not have the culture.
But then he was Big Dick Benny that whole 1 year, and we beat Dallas twice, and that was like their own, like 2 of their 3 losses, and just like he shocked the world for a little bit, and then the boat trip happened, and that was it.
Didn't he take us like 10-6 or 11-5?
It took us. I think we went 10-6, and that was that year we went to the playoffs. The year of the boat trip, and then I think he just like sucked the next year, and they fired him.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to Ben McAdoo, and I don't know where he is. Even I don't think he's coordinating anywhere either.
It's probably like
Shermer's got a job.
Did you ever watch that movie, Dodgeball?
Yes.
I imagine Ben McAdoo. He's like, like the ending scene where Ben Stiller's sitting on the couch all fat and just
fucking Chuck Norris.
Yeah, so he's like watching the Giants beat the Cowboys. Fucking Joe Judge.
No, because he was that was the last guy that beat the Cowboys.
Yeah,
up until Sunday,
I'm sure
that was the
Joe
last.
Judge.
2 coaches ago. It took us that long. We went through 2 coaches, or we went through. Yeah, I guess we went through Ben McAdoo. So that's 1 coach. Like we had 2 coaches then, like that, like including Judge. Yeah, that's 2 coaches, right? Something like that. But still, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And another reason I think to get excited about the next draft class, because I think one thing about Dave Gettleman is I think the problems with him is that
I'd like to say, I'm sorry, Dave. I know you're probably listening. We're very sorry that we doubted you.
Well, yes,
a lot of Giants fans listening. Let's all take a moment, and I want pause it right now, or no, don't pause it, but say it with me on 3. Say, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, Dave. Mike, you didn't say it.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to our thousands.
I'm talking to you too.
Okay. All right, let's try again.
1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, Dave. We gave him a lot of hate. We gave him a lot of hate, and he delivered this year.
One of the reasons I think I've hated him, or given him hate, is that I think he's been very much too hands-on as a GM. Obviously, a GM's got to be hands-on to a degree, don't get me wrong. But I think he's been way too much involved. And I think if the reports that I'm hearing are correct, I say that as if I'm some insider. I just read.
Just go with it. He is.
Yeah. Is that the reason Dave Gettleman didn't get fired? Because obviously over the last 3 years, we haven't done well, very much losing record over the last 3 years.
Right.
Apparently Joe Judge went to bat for him and said he wanted him to stay. So, one, that just enforces the whole that Joe Judge is the Giants right now. here's the culture.
I love that.
And also, I think if Dave Gettleman in the past has maybe been too hands-on because maybe he doesn't trust the coaches or whatever it might be, I think now he's like, maybe he'll be a little bit more, okay, if it wasn't for Joe Judge, I'd be jobless right now. So, hey, let's all work together and be a solid unit. So,
I like what you're saying. Because, like, we're going to be pretty good if that's the case.
So, before we go into the Eagles breakdown, so we've got the 11th overall pick. Now, I'm not super into college football, so I can't just start blurring out names. But in terms of position, where do you think is the first thing that we need to kind of strengthen them up?
Pass rush, receiver, probably 1 and 2.
Okay, I went flippity flop. I think first.
Well, I don't know. I honestly, like, I think you take best available of whatever there is going to be there.
Right. Yeah.
That, like, I mean, of those two. So just depending on how you get that. Really, like, I honestly have no idea. Like, I know that Alabama has like Waddell and Devontae Smith. So those are two really good receivers that if this is going to be a quarterback heavy of a draft, I think that's very likely one of them will be available at 11.
Because I try to do some research to make myself sound smarter and look for like a hot wide receiver, because that's what I think. Personally, I think that should be a number one get, but again, depending on what's left. But I think what's the big Alabama team?
That's what I was saying. Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, I think.
That's the guy I saw. Yeah, his stats look pretty. I mean, stats. I remember once I said on this very show, I quoted Jay-Z and said, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't." But the fact that Evan Engram is a Pro Bowl player this year means stats can lie incredibly to your face. But that Jalen Waddle's stats do look pretty good. And
I'm looking at a mock draft, and it's got both of them going in the first 10, the first 7. But it also has us taking defensive tackle Kwity Paye out of Michigan. I know he's really good. He's actually he's one of those guys where he's just going to be kind of he's just going to be a reliable pro. It's like a Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas, he's reliable. He's a stud, but he's reliable as shit. He's going to be somebody like a Zach Martin when Zach Martin got taken and all of those guys. But
now, obviously, I know, because I'm incredibly smart, I know what a defensive tackle is. But for those that might be listening who aren't 100% sure, where in the land is a defensive tackle? Is that someone literally in a defense?
On the outside, you got if you have 4 defensive linemen, you have on your outside, you have the defensive ends, and then the 2 interior linemen are the defensive tackles.
So is that part of the O-line?
If you're in a 3-4 where you have 3 linemen, you would have the middle defensive tackle would be called a nose guard.
Okay, so
nose tackles. Excuse me.
Defensive tackle, is that something where you get a big
interior
big boy? Do you get a big boy?
Yeah, you want a big, fast kind of dude. But we got Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams right now, so we've been doing pretty well. But with the cap coming up, it's going to be a little difficult to sign both of them.
Yeah, I think we've got about, I think it's a $10 million wiggle room.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna get rid of Engram to free up some cap. I think Nate Solder's gone. That's gonna free up a lot of cap too. I think. Nate Solder, we don't really remember about him. Remember how he was having all those problems at left tackle last year, and he opted out this year, and it was kind of we had to try out all these guys, and what we now see is a developmental season. I think that it looked pretty good. And Andrew Thomas actually looked pretty good towards the end of the year too. So I think that he's growing in the right direction.
Yeah, he was our first round pick last year, right?
Yeah. And I just think that I think that Tom. I don't know. I like both of them so much. I like Tomlinson more. I think Leonard Williams is probably the better player out of them. So I feel like it is possible though you could franchise tag Leonard Williams and then like sign Tomlinson to a longer deal. But I don't know. I don't know how it all works. It's math, and that it's above my head.
I mean, like I say, it depends on what's available at the end when we get our pick. But I, I mean, is our defense perfect? No, obviously.
Just add weapons.
But
like we need to be.
I think that's the last thing we need to
Scary.
update. I think my whole things for the last, well, pretty much the whole season has been that our running game has been pretty solid up until the fact that the big boys, the actual good teams, figured out that we don't have anything other than the running game right now, and we just got shut down. So I think even though, who was it? Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard.
He's been playing very well. Slayton has been, but they've been very inconsistent, shall we say?
I agree.
So
we don't have a true number one. Like Shepard, we paid pretty well, but he's not a number one receiver. He's a slot receiver. I think he's a number two receiver. It was always nice when you had Odell, but I would honestly rather have Peppers right now than Odell. Looking back at that trade, anyways, I just think that you got to bring in like a true number one, a big guy like a Julio Jones size guy. Just kind of take away some defenders and then open up Shepard, because Shepard, when he's not the number one option, is a stud. He can get open. He's an awesome second option, but you need that big guy like the Amari Coopers of the world, or the Julio Joneses of the world, and guys like that. DeAndre, you need that guy that's going to be able to go out there and make the play. But
my dog just opened the door, so I need to close it. But I'm listening.
Okay, so yeah, no, I really just. I think the Giants, you can pick up a receiver in free agency. I think they'll draft a couple of guys. Maybe like they'll probably draft at least one guy in the draft, and I'm sure they're gonna have a couple of free agents that they sign, the undrafted free agents that they'll sign. But they're gonna. I think they have to address both the defensive line and the receivers this offseason, and probably a tight end. Let's get a tight end, huh? Let's bring in a real tight end, a good tight end that doesn't drop passes like Evan Engram.
Would be nice. That'd be the dream, wouldn't it?
Let's do that.
Like a guy who gets the ball in his hand and doesn't smash it to the opposition.
So yeah, that's pretty much my take on all of that.
Okay. And then we have to, before we move on to we look forward to the wild card weekend without the Giants, unfortunately. Joe Judge had some things to say about obviously the Eagles, which I'm sure we both have our opinions on the Eagles.
Hate the fucking Eagles, man.
So my dog is really trying to get this door open.
We're talking Giants, dude. Yeah. Everybody wants to hear.
Oreo wants to join in the discussion. But yeah, so for the audio podcast listeners, I'm going to spicy what Joe Judge said. But basically, he was like, fuck the Eagles, disrespect them. I would never do that. I would never do that as long as I'm the head coach of the New York Giants. And which is beautiful. It's nice to hear. I think that's also part of him building his culture, where I think now, free agents are going to hear that and be like, I want to fucking play for that guy because he's all for the players, man. So I think that's going to go well. But yeah, what have you got to say that hasn't already been said, I guess? And there isn't nothing to be said. But the whole Eagles situation, what the fuck is Doug Pederson? Where he says, so he's claiming that obviously he was playing to win. So obviously, naturally, at 17-14, you're going to take out your best quarterback and replace him with a fucking third string quarterback that's been on the roster for 4 years.
And not even dress Carson Wentz at all.
Not even dress Carson, because obviously, why would you have him available if you're playing to win? And it's
making me mad just thinking about it.
Because there isn't, but at least if it was a case of, okay, if the Eagles lose, they get the number one draft pick. And if they win, they get bounced back to like 3 or 4. Even though I'd still be annoyed of it because obviously it took us out of postseason, but I would at least get it. But they went from
like 6,
number 9 to 6.
Or 9 to 6, yeah.
Like, what do they think at number 6 is gonna?
I don't know, but it's gonna be a bust. Whoever it is gonna be the biggest bust ever.
They're just gonna
There's
get
too many. It's bad. It's bad karma. It's bad karma. And I get the there's people that sat people. You know, like Patrick Mahomes didn't start. Ben Roethlisberger didn't even travel with the team. And it happens all the time. It was just the Sunday night game and all that. But it was just like, I get that, but then don't go out there and tell us. Be like, nah, you know, we were doing stuff.
But even well, I guess best case scenario for this guy, that they're gonna lose and they're gonna get the number 6 draft pick. They're
Which
not
will be a bust.
obviously at that point, you're not gonna get a franchise quarterback at number 6. It's
a deep draft though, and I think they want to go forward with Jalen Hurts. But now, why is Jalen Hurts going to want to be the guy when you pull him and shit like that? You're like, we don't really care about winning
because he's going to be pissed off, no doubt. So why wouldn't, if the fact that you're going to have to go with Jalen Hurts move forward, why would you not want him, even if it's a meaningless win? Why would you not want him picking up a confidence building win going into the postseason, and he's going to train harder and better and happier, and it just makes no sense. So now what they've got,
because you're Doug Pederson and your brain is, you don't have a brain. Instead, in your big dumb head, it's filled with soup, just filled with mushy soup.
But hasn't he got a best-selling book out called
I don't fucking give a shit, dude.
But
I don't read anything from that fucking idiot.
So
I fucking hate him. He's a fucking scumbag, dude. Fuck him. Fuck the Eagles. Like that. You know what? Like, I understand. And I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry. All of this talk just like, I felt like it's been a couple of days, so I wasn't gonna be as heated. And it's like you talking about it again, just like it brought it all back to the top again. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I get like, yes, the Giants should have won more games or whatever. No, I understand that. But like, what I'm fucking pissed about is that we had to root for the fucking Eagles and they go out and they do this. Like we have to root for the Eagles. I don't ever want to root for the Eagles, but I had to hope that fucking trash ass garbage fucking shit town team won a game. And
they were going to win the game. They were going to win the game.
And then they fucked around and did this shit. It's like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Oh, and
fuck you! I can hate the Eagles, and that's why. And that's my whole argument. It's like, yes, I understand that it is not the most reasonable argument, but still, fuck them. If the Giants had won another game, then yes, if the Giants had, but they hadn't. And you know what? This was their last opportunity, and the Eagles are what happened there, and fuck them.
Like there was so many examples. Like there was one.
I'm sorry.
There was one snap where the defensive line just kind of stood up and was like, please tackle our quarterback. We don't care.
Pass up a chip shot field goal to go for that 4th down at one point. Horse
why?
Shit.
Yeah. Why would you want to tie the game? So
horse shit.
And then there was right towards the end when they were was it the offside thing? What is it called, offside, or where the guy jumped the line or something? What's that called?
False start.
Full start. It was like the most blatant,
on defense,
obvious full start ever. It was just like, come on. Because it wasn't even like one of that. Because normally when you get a false start, it's normally like a little flinch. Oh, and he caught me. But he was pretty much just that.
Just going into the game with that many people out, all that. Just, I get it, and they're allowed to do that. But I'm also allowed to call them fuck faces for doing it. Okay. It's like you can do it. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I get it. People have tanked before. The fucking Colts tanked a whole year for Andrew Luck. But like, fuck you, Philly. Just because it happened to my team, all right? Like, if it didn't happen to my team, I wouldn't give a shit. But like, we can be mad. I think we're allowed to be mad.
Oh yeah, I definitely think my madness level would be a lot less. Oh, Alex.
And I'm cursing the fuck out of the Eagles. You know I can curse.
I'm gonna screen cap that. That was, you froze in a very yeah, that was a good face you pulled. Anyway,
did you hear me the whole time?
Probably. You was yelling a lot.
I just heard yelling and I tuned out.
But yeah, I don't think obviously my madness level will be the same if it wasn't affecting the Giants. But even taking that out of the equation, it was just such a pathetic, stupid. Because even removing the Giants from the equation, now he's pissed off. Of course, I'm assuming what the fuck is Sudfeld. I'm assuming he's probably not going to be on the squad next year. Even if he is, like, whoop-de-doo.
I don't know. He's bad. You wanted to know if he was good. He's bad.
Yeah.
Spoiler
you,
alert.
You wanted to get him some snaps, well, it didn't work. And then, so you got Jalen Hurts, who's going to be pissed off.
It was like what fucking was it McAdoo
Carson
did
Wentz,
when he
who's going to be pissed off.
Again, I'm cutting you off so much today, but it was like what was when McAdoo was at the end, and he was like, "Hey, what if we just sat Eli and started Geno Smith?" It was like that, where you're like, "Why? Why would you? Do you just want to lose on purpose?" Like, okay, well, let's see what we got. It's like we've seen it. Geno Smith played for like 3 years at another place. Like he wasn't good. Nate Sudfeld's been on the Eagles for like 4 years.
One of those talking head shows brought that up as an example of like, oh, why are the Giants so mad? Ben McAdoo did it when was it Ben McAdoo? Yeah, Ben McAdoo did it when he dropped Eli.
We fired.
I was like, yeah, one, that wasn't Joe Judge, so Joe Judge
would have beat the shit out of Ben McAdoo.
2, it's very different because pretty much everyone to a man who was a Giants fan was pissed off when that happened. We wasn't going, hey, we're going to lose on purpose because fuck the other team, whatever. Pretty much everyone's pissed off when that happened, when Eli got dropped. So it's not the same example. It's totally different. Fuck Ben McAdoo. Fuck.
Yeah, dude. I get you, bro. All right. I feel like we've ranted about the Giants too much. Even though like it's like we won't really get to again for a while.
Yeah. Let's get competitive.
Let's talk about some playoffs.
We got the playoffs coming up. I might have to change this pop filter because this is like as big as my fucking face.
We'll quit having a weird shaped face and fit it around the pop filter, bro.
The man with the pop filter sized face. Okay, so let's do AFC first. So okay, you've already pre-written yours down, right? I'm assuming you're not going to do this off the cuff.
Oh, like the games,
the picks for the games.
Oh yes,
you've written down. Yes. Okay, so I've written mine down. So even if we match, we match. If we don't, hopefully we don't match all of them because
I hope we do match.
Boring.
And then we'd just be like, hey, look, samesies.
We both won.
Yay. How about that?
Okay, so AFC first game. We got the Buffalo Bills and the Colts.
The Bills from Buffalo.
So I'm going just because, even though they're pretty much already technically the only team from New York, but I'm going for New York pride still. So I've gone with the Bills over the Colts. What have you gone with?
I have also gone Bills over Colts. Now, this one is a Bills are 6.5 point favorites right now, and as we're speaking, I actually just fired some cash onto that one because I think not only do the Bills win this one, I think they win by double digits. I think that they could blow them out. I think Indy's good. I get it, but just the Bills, they have that feeling like they're hot. They're hot, and they got hot.
It's so hot right now.
They're so hot right now. They got hot at the right time. Josh Allen's playing out of his mind. Like Stephon Diggs and him have that Tyreek Hill, Pat Mahomes connection now, where you're just like, well, once a game, it's going to be like a 40-yard or more bomb to Stephon Diggs that just some defensive end or some defensive back just looks silly trying to cover him, and he just makes him look like an idiot, and then goes 30 more yards and scores. And like, that's going to happen probably at least once. If Cole Beasley's back, then he's probably going to snag one. I think they're going to run the ball fairly well. Like, the Bills defense is hot right now. I think the Bills win this one easily. Fire on Bills minus 6.5.
Okay. So we're going to have Bills both. Okay. Next one. You could have probably had this one if you hadn't the pre-show that no one heard. It was the Steelers and the Browns.
You pay extra for that. That's our OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You just see the pre-show.
I was going to do a Pass the Gravy reference then, but I was one because it's smutty. It's quite smutty.
Smutty. All right, using your British slang.
Like every time on Pass the Gravy when you introduce the pre-cum section, I go, oh really, Alex? Oh.
The pre-cum section. That is a funny name though.
It is funny, if you're 12.
They did. I know, but that's the bit. Is that
I have noticed before, like, for the little things like that, where my giggle, I will like giggle, but then there's like things like where it's like super, super, super blank because you do the whole. It's the pre-comeback kid section, the pre-cum, like,
right.
that's immaturely funny, but it's clever because it works, you know. It's the pre-comeback kid. It works. It's funny. Congratulations, who came up with that? Was it you?
No, somebody. I think it was Daniel Garay came up with it.
Well, congratulations to him.
He's also on the Passive Way Podcast Network, Weekly D Podcast. Check it out.
Wait, what?
After you listen, he's also got a podcast on the Passive Way Podcast Network. It's called the Weekly D Podcast. Check that out after Claret and Big Blue and Pass the Gravy, obviously.
Are we all going to be on the Pass the Gravy website eventually?
Working on it. I'm working on it. I don't control our website anymore. Somebody took over it and like they designed it and made it look a lot better. But anyway, now, like, I don't know. Like now I can't fuck with it anymore because I'll ruin it. Like I used to like know how to like I knew how to do it, but it looked really like stupid and like not centered and like all this stuff was wrong with it. But it was like you can go and you can listen to the episodes. Nailed it. Done.
Boom.
And he was like, well, I can make it like look good. And I was like, yes, please do that. Thank you. But now like I can't just go like hop on to stuff and like it doesn't work that way because then I'll fuck it up. And he runs that stuff now. But I'll hit him up.
Anyway, the point was, rather than me trying to slide into your website, was that like the pre-cum section, clever, funny. But then I was recently listening to the wireless, the radio, and there was a song by Ariana Grande, and it's just called 34 plus 35. I'm like, I bet she giggled her ass off when she's like, really? Like, 69. Like, that's the age I'm at right now. I'm like, really?
I'm still there. Like on my Instagram, every time I see 69 on anything, I'm like, nice. I'm still that guy. It's always funny.
I appreciate that, but if you're a recording artist at the level of
absolutely,
level,
dude,
really,
absolutely, I would do that.
I don't like. I just think what it is. I know we're going way off topic, but I just hate it when Ariana Grande sings sexualized songs because she looks and sounds like a 10-year-old, and it just creeps me the fuck out.
Right. I'm with you on that one. And it's nothing wrong with her doing it. It's just like I am older than her and I feel uncomfortable because she looks so young. Whereas I think it was Selena Gomez too. I'm like, no, we don't do that. Like, she's just a child.
Yeah.
It's like she's actually like 24. I'm like, no, but still.
So, can you keep up all night? Can you do your homework, please? Thank you.
Yes. Like, ma'am, you're grounded. Go to your room. You fucking multi-millionaire that's way richer than I'll ever be. That fucking just drop a stack of money on me that would probably kill me. But like, yeah, let me talk some shit.
But with that said, I'm taking the Steelers over the Browns.
Well, the Browns just had all these people with COVID.
I was going to go with the Browns, and then you gave me the inside information, which I hadn't seen yet, that about 38 Browns players are now COVIDed up. So yeah,
that line went from it was Browns were getting 4.5 points to the second that news came out. They went to 6.5, or they're getting 6.5 right now from the Steelers. So like that when the line moves that much, obviously like everybody's thinking something's gonna happen. So I definitely think that I think the Steelers win this one. They probably don't cover. I would take the Browns plus 6.5. The Steelers always kind of play close games lately.
Oh, I haven't gone in depth like the over under and all that shit.
Steelers also. I'm just looking at the lines right while we're doing it, so that's why I mentioned it. But the Steelers also have the. I don't know why it always feels this way. Where like they were the team that didn't start their starters, and they're playing the same team they played in Week 17. The Browns barely beat their backups, so they're gonna be feeling good about that, and they're gonna go and they're gonna beat the Browns. That's my logic to that. It's like I feel like always like the team that doesn't start their guys Week 17 that plays the same team the next week. When that rarely happens, you always see the team that sat guys win.
Makes sense because they're rested.
That's what really. That was a roundabout way to get to that. What that was.
Next game, Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens. simply because I think they're both good teams who have been a little bit wonky this year. So I thought it was a close call for this one. So just because I went to Nashville in 2019 and it was fun, and I had a beer
Solid logic.
at a terrace where I overlooked their stadium. So I'm picking the Titans for this one.
Okay, well, I will disagree, and I will say I'm gonna go Ravens. I think Derrick Henry's running well, but I just feel like the Ravens are also a very hot team right now. They've kind of figured out they had to play to get into the postseason, and I think that they're I don't know how close it'll be. I think Ravens will win around by a touchdown or though.
See, I'm not going to
a touchdown or so.
So Ravens, Alex.
Ravens -3 is the line. I would say I'd take the -3. I'd lay the 3 points with the Ravens.
That's pretty close.
Feels like a 4-5 point win.
That's good. Yeah, it could be a good game. Then we switch over to the NFC. Saints, Bears.
The Bears. Saints easily.
Ooh,
they're 9.5 point favorites.
I have to take your first. Yeah, I pick Saints.
Just because it's a playoff game, I feel like I would not feel comfortable laying the 9.5, but I think the Saints win, and they could win by double digits, but I don't see it just because it's a postseason game. First one,
and
it's the Bears.
Even though he is like 76 at this point, Drew Brees he can still throw him when he wants to. He can still hit him up.
Yeah, I just feel like, and we'll get to this as we do our further down the road. I think that Drew Brees is like, he's good, but just there's been times where he just doesn't, he's not old Drew Brees. And I feel like that's there's going to be one moment like that bites him in the ass. And that's kind of like, I think the Saints easily win this one though. I don't think
he's definitely entered the Eli Manning phase of Eli's last.
Like the mind is there, but the body's not quite.
Yeah, because everyone's like, even myself, I was like, his last season or two was shitting all over Eli and like, oh, he's finished, and then all of a sudden he just like throw his like 6-year-old beast of a throw. Oh shit, he's still got it.
Yeah, somewhere. He kind of do it.
So okay, both come for Saints. Then next one, Seahawks versus Rams.
Well, which Rams are we getting? Are we getting a healthy Rams? If we get the healthy Rams, I still think Seahawks. So I don't know. It just depends on how much you want to say the Seahawks are going to win by.
So you're going for Russ Wilson.
I think Russ moves on. Seahawks -4 is the line right now. I'm kind of tempted to lay 4 points. Kind of tempted to lay the 4.
So I've got the Rams. I think they're gonna
the Rams. I mean, I could see it. I just feel like they've been banged up. I love Sean McVay in situations like this. I just feel the Seahawks are good.
Seahawks are very good, but nice that we've got different ones. And then next one. So this is the last one. The Washingtons facing the Tampa Bay Tom Brady's. So I was kind of. This is where the heart came into it because obviously this features an NFC East team. So I was like, do I want like the Washington to kind of like big up the name of like try to recoup the name of the NFC East so the Giants weren't in such a trash division, but then also Tom Brady, fuck Tom Brady, but no, I went with fuck the team that qualified out of the NFC East that it wasn't the Giants, so I've gone with the Bucks.
I'm gonna go Bucks.
See, that's because I honestly. Even though it pains me to say this, I think the way that they were playing, even though they were trash for a lot of the time, I think deservingly so. I think the winner of the game from the Giants-Cowboys game, I think one of those teams were the only teams that had at least a shot of making somewhat of a playoff run. Like
I don't think that any of them had a shot to make a playoff run, and I think that
defense, judging on a curve, I think like Washington has zero chance
I don't think they will because
winning.
their offense, but I think their defense can cause some havoc. And
But
I
against
just
Tom
think
Brady,
the Bucks are good.
I don't think Washington's defense that good. I think
I
Brady's
don't know. It's always kind of funny to see the 7-9 team if they were to win. So, like the time the Seahawks did at that time.
Worst case scenario, we get to see Tom Brady cry.
Right. But yeah, I think the Bucks win.
So Bucks. Okay, so we've gone pretty much the same on all, but there's one game each division.
Bucks minus 8.5 in that one.
That's actually.
I'm not laying that in a playoff game.
Yeah, it is a playoff game, but I'll say that's what's.
But I could see it being a blowout.
Yeah,
but
I can see that.
I don't think it would be.
Like this could be one of those games where I could see it like almost like a bloodbath.
It could be like the Lions game again,
where like Bucks are up like 3-4 scores by halftime, and it's just like, oh dear God.
Yeah.
So that's that. We'll update next week when I show that I am incredibly smart at NFL because I'm going to win. Got nothing on the line. Maybe we could think of something on the line.
We'll do that next week.
We'll do that next week.
We have a whole week to think about it.
But after all the bitching and moaning and all that good stuff, let's.
I'm going to step away for a second. You can take over real quick.
Let's take a quick pause for the cause before we move on to talking about West Ham versus the Evertonian Blues. But obviously, make sure you follow us on all of our social media networks. Conveniently and easily the same thing. So if you're on Twitter, it's at CBBpod. If you're on Instagram, it's at CBBpod. Some background music there from Alex. Thanks, DJ. The fuck was that?
I don't know if you heard any of that.
There was some loud music. But anyway, yeah, at CBBpod on Instagram.
Hold on, I'm trying to reconnect my headphones.
Oh, Jesus. Right. This is some exclusive stuff for YouTube because this is going to get spliced out on Spotify. Let me know when you can hear me again. Because I know I'm going to do like a segue. I'm going to talk about our
I know what it's doing.
And he's going to interrupt me just like he did. If you're on screen cap, look at it.
Hang on.
Oh, Jesus.
Go right back.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, why he can't. So, yeah, follow us on all of our socials at CBBpod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can follow me at Claret.
There we go.
And
all right.
Oh, we've gone for the.
I'm back.
The wires now.
I'm back. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Was that a song?
I don't know why. Like when I walked away, it was like my iTunes started up. That was weird.
Hey!
This is Kanye West.
Ah.
Playing some Yeezy.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm
sorry about that, dude.
No worries. But I'll just cut all that shit out because it was good. I was trying to do some nice segue, and then Kanye West interrupted me, and then I started again, and then you was like, "Yeah, I can't hear anything." It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
My bad.
Okay, so before we move on to the West Ham chat, make sure that you give us all a follow on our social medias. Nice and easy at CBBpod on pretty much everything. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Not on TikTok or Snapchat because fuck those guys. That's the thing.
On MySpace.
We'll do a competition next week.
SoundCloud.
So you can become one of our top friends on MySpace.
Top 8,
exclusive. You can knock off Tom from our list.
We got some beef.
Yeah, because like no one trusts a guy who hasn't changed. He hasn't even changed his profile picture in 30 years. Like no one trusts a guy like that. And then myself at Claret Big Blue, and then Alex at Alex J Middleton, and then follow our podcast daddies at Pass the Gravy Pod on Twitter. Is that correct?
Twitter and Instagram. Yep.
Beautiful stuff. Okay, so what now seems like 7 years ago, the West Ham United took on Everton in a match that if you listen to last week's podcast, we wasn't too confident about this one. I think you went with, Everton winning 2-1 or 3-2, and I was putting on a brave face, and even though I didn't believe it, I picked a 2-2 draw. But we won 1-0. But before we get into that, so before the match started, last minute, so obviously we're all thinking the worst. Oh God, what's Everton? Everton versus West Ham never goes well for us.
Right.
And then just before the game begins, Lucas Fabiganski gets injured, and Darren the Rudolph reindeer comes in. How was you? Because I know you was a couple of beers deep probably at that point. How was you thinking?
Not great, obviously. It's night and day though. If you're like, hey, Randolph is actually in, as opposed to like, hey, Roberto's in, because then I would just like, well, I'm gonna go home because this game is not even worth watching because he'll throw it in the net if he can. But
he's the Evan Engram of goal.
You don't expect Darren Randolph, against Everton, top 5 team, right? They're top 5. Top 5, top 6?
Yeah, definitely top 6 at that point, yeah.
But they're okay, top of the table team. Top half of the table team. There we'll get into that. But I think you just don't expect, you don't want your backup goalkeeper going against them. And he didn't really luckily the defense played him out of a lot of situations, but he had a couple of saves. That were pretty awesome.
He stepped in, did the job. There was a little part of me that was like, okay, I'm not actually too worried, because I remember when Adrian was injured and Randolph stepped in and did pretty well for us for the second half of the season when he was first part of the squad. And then I was realizing, okay, that was actually about 4 or 5 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, he stepped in, he did his job, and then the old reliable, the guy who it feels like he's scored about 17 goals this season.
Right.
Oh, Tommy Suchek. How amazing was that? That was not only was it the right place at the right time, but reflexes like a cat. Because
I don't know. I would have tripped. It would have been just silly if I did that. But yeah.
Because it looked simple when they did the slow-mo replay, but when it was in full speed, because he had to make sure his foot was in the right place at the right angle, because that could have very easily just went boom into the stands.
Right. Well, I what made me upset a little bit about all the whole situation was just how VAR is ruined enjoying soccer in a lot of ways for me.
Oh yeah, I was that was offside, probably.
100%, because it was West Ham. Everybody, I watched it with the same group that I always watch games with. But we were like, yeah, fuck, that's probably coming back. I don't know. Was it offside? They're celebrating an awful lot for not to be there's no flag. They're not they're gonna look at it and just where it's yes, we scored. Now you're just was it offside? I don't know. It just. It's and being a West Ham fan, you've been burned on that so many times. You're just okay, I'm not sure, but when they kicked off again, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Because even back when Lanzini scored that thunder bastard against Tottenham, even he was so far away. Even I was there must have been something. VAR is going to chalk that up. There must have been something wrong with that. But it was a pretty solid performance. I mean,
defense played awesome. I mean, the first half.
Oh, Ogbonna was.
We've been
brick wall.
Realistically, though, the second half got better. There's some chances, but we have played 2 of the most boring games back to back. The Southampton game was boring as shit, and this first half of this game was pretty boring.
Was it
Southampton?
No,
Who
I'm
do we-
well. I mean, I was gonna say the Brighton game before that was. I mean, it was 2-2, but I don't
just because
remember
there was
that being
scoring
like
in there.
exciting
Well, I
either,
was saying
really.
at least like I just remember the Southampton game was like one of the worst games, like just a boring, not fun game to watch.
That was a miserable game to watch.
And like the first half of it, I just like I don't know. It seemed like everything was going against us. Just it seemed like okay, Fabianski being a late scratch. Then just it looked like Everton was, kind of threatening. We didn't look great, but like the defense kept bailing them out. It was almost like a parallel to the Giants. Like the defense continuously bailed them out where we don't have a fucking striker when we have Allaire in. We do not have a striker when we have Allaire in. Do you want me to say it again? We don't have a striker when we have Allaire in. I know you love him. But you need to learn to let go.
I think it's his French accent that does it for me.
He's Ivory Coast now, buddy. So it's the Ivory Coastian accent.
Racist.
Ivory Coastal accent. Well, he switched over so he could get
No, I was like, that's
yeah, for assuming.
Yeah. It's a hate crime.
No, cut that part out. We're not like that. This isn't that kind of podcast. We're not a hate crime podcast.
Claret and Big Blue says no to hate crimes.
And say no to racism is what we say. We're both wearing patches on our sweaters right now.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, very well done. I think it's one of those games that it's very similar to the Southampton game in that there's it's similar, but for different reasons. In terms of like the Southampton game, there really wasn't much to talk about because it was just boring. Nothing happened at all.
Yeah, there was a game played.
It happened, and whereas in this game, I mean, maybe it was because it seems like an eternity ago, so maybe I'm forgetting some things. But it was
5 days ago as we're recording this.
It nothing like I don't ever remember, other than a couple of. I think Randolph maybe made 1-2 saves. There was never. It was just a solid, I think, performance. There was never no players, I think, had a bad real game. I think if I remember, Cresswell maybe had a couple of poor passes into the ball, into the box. But he had the assists. So I think it was pretty much a good performance all around. Can you remember anything notable really other than pretty much Ogbonna being solid?
Ogbonna was kind of what I was going to say. Yeah, like Ogbonna was absolutely dominant. He looked really good. I'm trying to look at the stats here. It doesn't have the shots we had. No, yeah, that was 10-11. We outshot him. But yeah,
how many did they have on target?
They had 2, and so that would So we were right. The 2 remember are right. And then Randolph, he just, I don't know. Sometimes you just have like a dipshit of a goalie like Roberto out there. It's just like I feel like we're like an abused spouse where you're just like, don't do it again. Oh no, Daddy's gone. Fabies is gone. Please don't fuck us over and throw it in the net again or kick it straight into the fucking other team like Roberto did multiple times. But it was just like I don't know. I was impressed. He just
luckily we haven't got we've got a run of games now where I mean obviously I'd love Fabianski to be coming back as soon as possible, but our next game is like 6 days from now against Stockport in the FA Cup, which I'm pretty sure even regardless of Fabianski's injury, I think Randolph was going to start that game.
Yeah, Stockport. Yeah, well, but I feel like with Randolph, if he's the guy going forward, do you start Martin? No, you mean because you're not gonna fatigue Randolph. You know who I kind of wish they would pull up and start for a little bit. Actually, I think he's out on loan. I was gonna say Trot. Is it Nathan Trot?
Yeah, I can't remember who, but
he's out on loan.
I'm 90% sure he's out on loan.
Okay, I really like. I don't know what. Like I saw him in like 1 or 2 of our like preseason games, like the Betway Cups, and he just seems like he's got a little something.
I think is he still out on loan?
I was kind of surprised.
Wimbledon?
Okay, so
maybe he might be back actually. So maybe screw it, give him a go if he's
against Stockport. Fuck it, who gives a shit? Like we're not gonna win the FA Cup. Like let's fucking see if Trot can beat Stockport, and then we'll worry about keepers going forward, like in the FA Cup. But I don't know. I'd give him he's a young dude. What is he, like 20, 19?
He's been in the. It feels like he's been.
He's like homegrown
in the system for quite a while. He's 22 years old.
22. Okay, he just looks young. He's a young 22.
He's a very young 22. But I think long term, I think we definitely need to start looking at replacement because as much as I love Fabianski is not going to be around for that much longer.
Well, and his bones are just from his muscles; they're just becoming detached. Like last year was at the quad.
Yeah, I think at best we have maybe
2 years,
one more season after this one.
I was gonna say, yeah, probably one. You're right,
but like next year.
Pull up Trot. Let Trot be the backup at some point. I don't know how long Randolph's got a contract, but I like Trot. Maybe loan him out another year. But with knowing West Ham, we'll probably sell him like the Dean guy. I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah, we'd start him and he'd like start showing some glimpse of amazingness, and then we'd sell him for $6 million.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, we got really in like the rabbit hole of keepers there. But I don't know. I guess I just like David Martin because he beat, like, he's got the Lanzini effect to me, where it's like, well, he beat Chelsea that one time, he got the clean sheet, so
he's gonna do it every game.
He's gonna probably do. I mean, he didn't after that, but like, he's cool. But he looks like a Harry Potter character.
But he's pretty old, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I think he's at least as old as Randolph, if not older, because he was like 30-something, 35, 34 when he made his debut.
Yeah, so David Martin is 34.
Knew it.
Darren Randolph is 33. And then
Trot's 23, 22.
Fabianski is 35. We've got, Jesus, all our goalkeepers are old as fuck.
Well, I mean, you really got the one, and then you got a backup. You don't have to spend the money on the backups, but
I mean, I'm 35, so they're all young. They're all
right.
young. Me, all these young whippersnappers. But yeah, I'd like that idea. I never thought of it, but yeah, I think maybe against Stockport we do. I'm pretty sure he's actually around because now I think his Wimbledon loan ended. So yeah, if Nathan Trott's around, give him a go. Because I think
if Nathan Trott starts, breaking news, please, whoever is on, we get credit. Claret and Big Blue podcast, credit us immediately. News. Okay, we're guaranteeing it, and if it does not happen, then the material change happened, and that's not our fault. That's not. But yeah, we're using alternative facts.
I'm gonna clip this bit. Breaking news: Nathan Trott to start against Stockport County,
and then tag fucking tag like all like Sky Sports and them. We did that with the Allaire signing was rumored to happen, and then it fell through, and then it happened again. But we said, like, mark it, it's official, it's happening. Allaire to West Ham, and then we just harassed people online until somebody like an actual outlet was like, first reported on Past Great Podcast, and I was like, that's hilarious that they didn't listen because it was like a 4-hour episode or whatever it was.
Why wouldn't you listen to
we that? Didn't give them a time that we said, well, we said it first. We said first. But if you threw a clip in there, then they have to. Yeah, I'm not gonna do your journalism for you. Yeah. I break news, all right? I don't report on already broken news. But it was a rush. And then we had another dude, a Yeti. We also got somebody to credit us for breaking the Yeti signing.
He's gone now. Is he on loan?
Yeah, he's gone. But
or did we sell him? I can't remember.
I think he was on loan, wasn't he?
No, I think we signed him.
But I don't know where he is. He's not on our team anymore. But
a Yeti.
But just so if that happens, then be like, well, we called it. We broke the news that Trout was starting. And you guys all have to blow him up and tweet him and let him know. So
because we do exclusives here now, don't we?
That's what we do. We're bully journalists here. Big J journalists.
So, I mean, that's all we've got to look forward to between now and next week's episode is the wild card games in the AFL that we're going to, enjoy, even though the Giants aren't in it. Fuck you, Eagles. And then we've got West Ham versus Stockport County, which I'm going to assume is going to be on over here in the States.
Monday.
On ESPN Plus.
Yep, it will be.
means I have to fucking resubscribe to that dog shit game.
So we sort of talked on it, and then we got stuck on goalies. But Stockport County kind of like that's FA Cup. But then when we go back to the Premier League games, we like you were saying it was like if we had to miss Fabianski, which like hey our rest like you know like thoughts and prayers to our king Fabianski, like we love you bro and we want you to heal up, but like God forbid he's out for any extended period of time. You know, you got Burnley,
Yep,
West Brom, Crystal Palace, and I mean you wrap up the month with Liverpool, but
so, I mean if
you can get 9 points, we're West Ham, so I'm not expecting 9. If you can get 9 points out of the next 3 games, holy fuck.
And then after that, we've got Villa, who are very inconsistent. Then
But we beat them already.
Then we've got Fulham, Sheffield United. So we like
Tottenham, who we fucking made our bitch anyways. We're on a 3-0 run against Tottenham. We scored the last 3 goals against Tottenham. So as far as I'm concerned, we're a better team.
January and February could be very, knock on wood, fruitful for West Ham United.
And then
very nice. How close this season's been, I was very much like, because every point matters and you're going to be moving around. Like when we beat Everton, I was like super hyped, and I checked the table and it's like, before this game we were 10th, and now we've moved up to 10th. Okay, so we're still 10th. Okay, but still we won. That's important.
Right, but as long I'm happy that we're top half.
But yeah, we are equal points with Chelsea, which is nice. Pretty
funny.
So we are I mean, if you add all the joints together, because Liverpool and Man United both got 33, so they're joint first. And then there's Leicester, who are third. So they're technically second. And then Tottenham, City, Southampton, Everton, who technically, I guess, joint third. That makes us joint fourth, even though we're 10th. Stupid logic, doesn't make any sense, but I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I'll take that too. I like that a lot.
Up the hammers.
But yeah, I mean, we're going to beat Stockport.
Probably about 1-0. It'll be a really annoying game, I'm sure.
Or no, we'll score 3 at the very end where like we had to turn it on like we used to do against like Wednesday or whoever it was.
If our history of playing lower league opponents have taught me anything, it's either going to be like 0-0 up until like the 85th minute, and then we're going to score and it's going to be 1-0, or we're just going to whitewash them and it's going to be like 7-0.
Basically, yeah. There's no in between.
There's no in between.
Or no, there is where like they'll score an early goal and we're like, fuck, what do we do? And then like we had to go in at half, and then we had to sub in somebody and like burn one of their rest days. We used to do that. That was always obnoxious.
And then scrape 2-1.
Yeah.
So official prediction, it's going to be ugly. That's locking it in. Take it to the bank.
Yeah, I think we win. I'm going to say 3-0.
Every single week, I write down these predictions, and then I never refer to them again.
Don't worry about it. We don't need to unless we're right.
And then I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2-1. I'm gonna make it that they're gonna go ahead, and we're gonna have to bring on all
that old game.
No,
I've been there before. No.
But any final thoughts? It's been a fun episode.
I wrote this down to bring up because my friend when we were watching the game, I know like the Rice trade rumors have all been, kind of going around, and we love Souček and everything. But we discussed like, what if we ended up having to sell Rice to Chelsea? I think we'd get enough money from him to like maybe sign the rest of the Czech national team. And then we'd have Souček and the rest of his buddies. Like, it's a cohesive unit. They're playing together already. I think that it'll work out okay. And then, we'll still probably be about as good as we are anyways. And
then international break just becomes another week for them.
Hanging with the boys. Yeah, just training a little bit.
Road trip. We're going to
like 75% of West Ham. That's probably going to benefit the Czech national team because they're already playing together in the Premier League. So it's like, dude, synergy.
Everybody. So in that
I'm just
case,
saying, if we have to part with Rice, let's think about that as an option.
get some more Czech Republic guys in.
The whole Czech national team.
Because so, and then I think is it a case of like once you bulk buy, do you get like a discount like Costco?
That's what I'm thinking too, and that's how West Ham probably thinks too. That's how GSB are always. They're
No,
like,
KGB.
what? We can KGB. You're right. That's how KGB always is, where they're like, we can save a nickel, even though I don't think they don't have nickels over there. They have loons.
They have pennies and pounds.
Pennies and pounds.
Pennies and pounds, but they do
pounds?
love to.
Are pounds? That's like paper though, right?
No.
Like all of the money over there is coinage.
From £1 down is coin, yeah. The earliest paper money you can get is a £5 note.
So if you have 4, you have to have 4 little like coins.
Yep, and it's really fucking
What is
annoying.
this? Yeah,
Really
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Because then, because I would go to the bar and like in most English bars, you don't do the thing we do here where you put your card down and then pay at the end. You just pay for every drink as you buy it. So no one pays in coins because you just want to get your drink, pay, and fuck off and drink your drink. So every single time you're paying with paper money, and then by the end of the night, you just got his pocket full of like £18 coins, and it's
I remember
a horrible system.
The gold dollar over here, like that was a thing when that first came out. And I remember being at a gas station and like the guy was giving me change and he gave me like $3 in one of those. And I was like, what is this? He's like, it's a gold dollar. I was like, I don't want pirate money. I don't do that. Like pirates paid in coins. We're civilized. We're civilized people. All right. We need to go more paper money. Okay. I understand you have to have like the lower, like you have to have pennies and nickels and stuff like to add up to the one, but like, I'm not carrying ones. Or like if $1 bills were just coins, like I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Did you then later go home and bury that golden dollar?
No, I didn't, because I made the guy give me an actual one.
You missed a trick there. Could have like made a treasure map and then got drunk and forgot about it,
like,
and then
cool,
next day you had a treasure hunt.
Well, but it's always like a pain in the ass. It's like, dude, coin machines, like the vending machines, don't take Sacagawea dollars. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, this doesn't do me any good at the vending machine at work, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Was he thinking?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I got a little coin rant right there. I think pirates use coins. I'm not a guy that uses coins all the time.
I hope he got fired. I hope that's the end of the story.
I don't hope he got fired. We don't talk about another man's job. We don't talk about another man's job.
So it's the one rule we have on this podcast.
So yeah, I think we could definitely sign the whole Czech national team if we have to sell Rice. So that may be one thing that like wouldn't be the worst thing. But we don't want to sell Rice. I'm team not selling Rice.
I don't think we will.
I hope we do.
I think the only point that we sell Rice is when he like starts kicking off and requesting a leap move, and I could be wrong, but I just don't think we're anywhere near that right now.
Yeah,
I think he enjoys himself. He likes it. He's the captain pretty much, even though Noble every now and again comes back. But realistically, Rice is the captain now.
That's his next year for sure.
100%. So, and we're on. Don't want to jinx it. We're on the up and up. So I don't see.
If you can get top like Europe game, like you get people coming to play for Europa and stuff like that. Like people would want to come to West Ham.
Because realistically, right now, but Chelsea. Obviously, historically, is a step up, but is it that big of a step up right now?
Not really, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's not going to be the captain at Chelsea, so he's like, I think he's happy at West Ham. I think he'll stay. And unless anything drastic and shithousery happens in the next couple of years, I can't see him leaving anytime soon.
Good.
Just to make you feel better there. Put your mind at ease there, young Alex. Okay. Any other last thoughts before we wrap this shit up?
Check out Pass the Grade podcast. We got our first new episode of the year coming up tomorrow. Yeah, so tune in.
Anything you said, like any spoilers? Have you got what you got lined up?
We'll talk a little Giants Eagles. We're gonna talk about the Nickelodeon game. It's gonna be Nickelodeon's gonna air the Bears Saints game, but it's gonna have like googly eyes on replays and like slime on the TV in the end zone and SpongeBob in the end zones and stuff like that. So like
Like
I'm
the New Orleans
super,
SpongeBob's versus Chicago.
yeah, I'm super stoked
Downers.
for that. We're gonna talk about that. And then let's just say we've been off. We haven't had like a live podcast or anything like that since the Spooktacular, which was about 2 weeks ago. So we got a lot of not cools added up. The Eagles might
And
be in that.
I'm assuming you've got a What Would Jesus Do lined up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna. Where can I submit my What Would Jesus Do question?
At Pass the Gravy Pod, hashtag PTGWWJD. Just tag us on Twitter.
Okay, I got.
We'll put you in the queue.
I don't even get to jump the queue. I'm part of the.
I'll jump you,
family,
dude. I can't tell everybody that.
Okay, I will happily go to the end of the queue.
Do that. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. So look forward to that. So that's on everywhere you listen to podcasts, even Apple Podcasts, who hate this podcast for some reason.
Dude, we'll get there.
At this point, I'm like, fuck you.
No, we gotta go. We gotta go Apple too. Those are my people.
I'll keep trying. And then one day we'll be on iHeartRadio.
Them too. Yeah, I know them.
They are your people. Beautiful. Okay. So yeah, at Alex J. Middleton, that's that man. At Claret Big Blue, that's me. At CBB Beer Pod, that's the whole shaboodle.
Follow.
Then, take care of each other. Look after yourselves. And I'll see you next Tuesday.